Hello there everyone, welcome back to James Redmond TV and welcome to another Redmond Roundup. We're still in the process of getting the music sorted, which is devastating. But do you know that regardless whether I'm here on YouTube or not, posting or not, that I still love you? And did you know that I will never retire from YouTube no matter how long my breaks may be? Therefore, you've always got the benefit of knowing that James Redmond has got your back, Liverpool fans, because genuinely I want nothing but less heart attacks, less stress days for all of us, because I feel like we all stress over a little thing called football way too much. And one thing that causes that stress is Liverpool Football Club themselves. Now, that's what this video is about, because here's the thing, I feel that when things go wrong to right, that can sometimes be an inefficient way. So let me give you an example. You spray paint a wall, vandalism and all that, and you get away with it. If you get away with it, you're likely to do it again. If you get caught, you're either going to be more cautious or you're not going to do it again. It's a very simple premise, and rightly so. If you had 2 brain cells, then you would not get yourself into that circumstance that could get you in trouble. This is a circumstance that we have seen ourselves in football references, in football terms, plenty of times. So the season when we was 9th with no centre-backs and we went into that season with 3 centre-backs, and then it just so happened we had an absolute legend called Nathaniel Deeney Van Phillips who was able to fill a void in the meantime. And then we somehow made this last-minute gasp of getting however many wins it was, Alisson getting goals, the most crazy of circumstances that only the spirit that is in Liverpool Football Club can bring us through. The Istanbuls, the last-minute goals in numerous Champions League games, all these things, that has got to be something within the heritage of our team. Do you like the way Real Madrid always win Champions League? Because it's basically their heritage. Liverpool are kind of like this when it comes to big moments. Now, the reason why I'm bringing up these points and the reason why I'm making these case studies is because that season, when we got third, this season, we're looking like there's a chance, there's a glimmer of hope that if either Newcastle or United drop points and we win our last 2 games, we get top 4. Now, if that happens, it's been a good season. Based on circumstance, based on not the expectations at the start, but as they have progressed. Because we were about 10th in the middle of the season. It was atrocious. I was depressed. I felt like crying. And I took a 4-month hiatus off of YouTube. It was a bad time. Now we've done really, really well and I'm back. And yes, that's a controversy in itself. But let's be honest. I can do what I want. It's my YouTube channel. And we've now won 7 games in a row. By the way, if we win our last 2 games, which is crazy, then that means we've won 9 games in a row. The last time that we done that in a league format, we done that in the season that we won the league, which is high on crack cocaine. And it shows that if someone is writing a script on the Premier League football matter, then they are doing a very, very interesting one to where it's not good for my health and I don't think it's good for yours if you claim to be a Liverpool fan. So, now let's get to the point of the video. Does this mean if we somehow get top 4, which is a bit more likely than what it was a couple of weeks ago, will we hold back? Do we look at Curtis Jones playing in midfield, or do FSG look at Curtis Jones? Do the board of directors look at Curtis Jones? Because Jurgen Klopp is now looking at Curtis Jones as someone who can maybe elevate into the first team. He's been here for a couple of years. He's now getting into that stage where he's a bit more mature physically and stuff like this. Would that mean he now gets given a chance? I wouldn't say he's the first team midfielder, but is it now bringing a little bit of reluctancy to bring in 1 less? So instead of bringing 3, let's say that was the plan, now let's bring in 2 because Curtis Jones is boss of football. Now, if that was the plan to originally get 3 and now get 2, that's terrible. But we'll never know if that's the case. So we can't necessarily have a go at the football club because we don't know what their intentions was before this good spell, before the end of the season. But this is what I'm saying about a good spell happening now. It might not always be a good thing. It's great for us because it means we get a chance of getting Champions League and then we've salvaged what's been a really, really poor season. We've still finished on the same amount of trophies as Manchester United, more trophies than Arsenal. I had to throw a dig in there, please allow me. These are the things that, yes, they are good, but then when you analyse, what about if it brings less urgency? Because if you, let me go back to the vandalism point, if you're always getting away with vandalism and you really enjoy doing it, you're more inclined to do it because you're not getting any consequences or paying any consequences. If Liverpool aren't having to suffer without Champions League football, and these seasons only end up being good because they end well. We were happier at the end of the season when Alisson scored against West Brom than when we lost the league title with 97 points and won the Champions League. That's how mad it is when you think about how a season goes, the context matters. So we could have had a good start, bad end, and then, we've got to really go out and do madness. But then it's been the other way round. So does that now bring less agency in the transfer window? Because let me go back to the point at the start of the video. I care about you. So I'm here to let you know when FSG are up to bullshit. So do you remember the Super League when I was like, guys, just always remember they're going to do a thing to where they're going to seem sound again. Just give them 10 wins. Give them 10 wins in a row and then they'll be fine because Jurgen Klopp has been able to maximise what is a very limited squad and has found a way to keep these players fit. The only times that issues have arose, if that's a word, don't know if it is, arose, is in the season when we lost all of our centre-backs. And then this season where we've just had injuries in and out. Jota's been out for a lot. Diaz has been out for a lot. It's caused a lot of disruptions and it's definitely disrupted momentum on many occasions. And now that we've got those players back and our only injuries really seem to be Thiago, maybe one or two other names, we're finding that form. So what does that mean in terms of midfielders? Because we've been banging on about 2, 3, maybe even 4 midfielders, some people have suggested. I'd say 2 is fine. 3 is very much needed. And if you get 3, that's good. But then if you get 4, then amazing, because you're literally giving us something very new to work with, which is never bad, because Milner's going, Henderson's not getting any younger. Fabinho's done better recently, but can you trust that he's going to get better as time goes by? I've seen weirder things happen, but let's just see if that's the case. Because it really could have just been a mental thing with Fabinho, but he's also looked slower, so I don't even overtrust in his physicality no more. So 4 midfielders is very extreme. I think 2 is realistic. We need to get at least 2 midfielders because even Oxlade, Naby, they're going to be going. At least I hope Oxlade is going because I don't see the point of him staying another year. If I believe this is his last year on his contract, so let's hope that's the case. And shout out to Oxlade, but he does need to dusty. I think we're okay. In fact, I think we're more than okay in the attacking front. We've got Salah, who doesn't look like he's going to stop getting goal contributions anytime soon. Nunes, who hopefully gets more goal contributions next year in a better Liverpool team. Diogo Jota, Diaz, these guys with more game time would always be a good thing. So I don't think Harvey Elliott, he has the option of playing in either midfield or right wing. He has that versatility. You know, there's options there for the attacking sense, not to mention the academy players that we could potentially bring through. So I'm not saying let's go out and spend 30 and 40 million of what will be a very limited budget on these players, because if you believe in the idea Liverpool are going to go and spend 200 to 250 million without having to sell a big name in the summer just because we've had a bad season, you're ludicrous. They didn't even do it when we won the Champions League. So are you high on crack cocaine? We need to go out and do a madness. The last time we done a madness was when we sold Coutinho. The time before that when we done a madness was when we sold Suarez. And I don't see anyone in this Liverpool team of a 70 or an 80 million pound calibre asset. Maybe Diaz, but no one's going to buy Diaz. Maybe Jota could be a little 60, 50 million pound player, but we're 1, not looking to sell him. I wouldn't advise to sell him. And 2, I don't think anyone's in the market for that type of player for that price. So these are the questions that you've got to ask yourself and think, okay, even though we've had a bad season, does it mean that we're going to fix all the problems in the summer? Because we've had a very poor track record of being able to do that, unless we've sold a big player and we don't have that big player to sell. So all I'm here to do is warn you, saying, yes, next season could be better. Yes, next season could be great. Why? Because we've got a world-class manager, genuinely one of the best, if not the best manager in the world in Jurgen Klopp. And yes, trophies will not suggest he's the best manager in the world. But for Liverpool, he will be the best option, and I will always stand by that, because he is the guy who is using these limited resources. If he was getting the resources like everywhere else, and I mean from a well-rounded point of view, consistent resources, like these big football clubs, because that's the thing, when you need players, Klopp can't just get players. If City need players, they can get players, but they don't always need them, is the thing, which is why there'll be times where we can catch up on spending and stuff like this, but the owners just don't seem to want to keep up with that consistency of spending. And again, if they don't have a big asset to go, then we're fudged, basically. So I don't know how we're going to do. Again, we need to get top 4 for this to be a problem, but just be very wary of the owners, because like I said, the Super League, everyone hated them and now everyone likes them, or everyone did like them. And watch, if we win a trophy next season, then everyone's going to like them again. Like, oh, FSG haven't done that bad. It's just setting the really, really low standards. But it is what it is. I understand that people have those issues. And yeah, they want to talk about it. I'm here to talk about that. I'm here to mention that we can't get too excited, even if we get Champions League, because I just don't see us spending 200 million at all. If you disagree, let me know in the comments down below and tell me that I'm a stupid little bastard. Oh, what a video. That was a good one. I enjoyed it. Please do smash a like, because it helps. And YouTube is now going to be a lot more of a consistent theme. What am I even shouting? Come on. Me being consistent on YouTube, I've never heard something so bullshit in my life. But I'll try. That's a promise. And yeah, share the video if you want and comment, and yeah, love every single one of you. You're all boss. Love to you and your mothers, and I'll see you all later.